All right, let's see. Looking good. Zero drop frames. Things I think are coming through. Awesome. Let's do it. Well, welcome back, folks, to another episode of GPT with me, with your host, Travis Frisinger. Today, just going to walk through a small session on, I guess, the tuning a specific prompt, the YouTube highlights prompt. It's the one I was working on, one of the ones I was working on last session. It's proving rather problematic. It's a very kind of specific type of summary task. So I just kind of want to walk through how I would troubleshoot and debug this kind of ground and kind of the foundational things out there. Hopefully provide some guidance. Hopefully get a little bit better result out of this. And if not, I'll probably do some exploring off screen and talk about it the next session. So let's get into it. Gonna just I called it summary prompt here, but it is the YouTube highlights because the summary prompt actually works pretty well. It's the highlights one that seems to be slightly more problematic. So I'm gonna kind of go through just a basic, how would I troubleshoot this? Where would I look? What would I do? Because kind of occurred to me that maybe folks aren't even sure where to find examples or how to start. There's tons of prompt tutorials out there. Sure, go read them if you want. I'm going to kind of rely on the documentation around OpenAI and Langsmith. There's examples on both. There's some helpful hints at OpenAI, and I think they'll be quite useful. And then I'll round things out, kind of highlighting what the next steps are. So this week's definitely going to be focused on kind of prompt and Langsmith and kind of getting the fundamentals put together. Hopefully for a working example where we can get back into some writing code with ChatGPT using our custom workflow. Maybe a new coding copilot. We'll see. I found a new one. Well, I haven't found a new one. I'd come across it before, wasn't really sure, hearing good things now. So I'll likely be featuring that soon. All right, so just to kind of recap, we've got our Scribe AI, totally built through prompting, which is just awesome. It's been so nice to just kind of prompt things out, get all the foundational crud out of the way. Get to the state where I can kind of focus on the real Gen AI issues here, where I want to take a YouTube stream. This happens to be last Friday's YouTube stream, and I want a good summary out of it. And I'm just not getting a good summary out of it consistently. Like here I am. Here it kind of looks good, but if I come over here, it's the same one. And what's it doing? It's giving me these really like granular things. It's kind of weird. Not super keen on that. Like, it'd be nice if it could kind of give me some bigger, high-level chapter summary type thinking. At least that's how I see it. I'm not going to press run again here. It's just too granular. I think even if this was a good summary, it's just way too granular. So where do I start? What do I do? Help, right? You're stuck in the same situation. So coming here to the playground is not going to likely do much for me unless I happen to notice the LangChain hub. Now, if I go here, the hub's pretty cool. There's a whole lot of public prompts. Now, you may have noticed in kind of the summary, I plan on moving these prompts to being public. I figured if this is going to be open source, people probably want access to the prompts. Excuse me, or at least some version of the prompts to work with. I'm likely to only leave the kind of landing page prompts public. I think the ones that start getting a bit more nested, a bit deeper. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It's really just a thought that crossed my mind. So these things like prompt maker convert all your small lazy prompts. Okay, so what is this? This is quite a thing. What's another one here? Super agent. Possibility call function calling similar to the GPT models. Okay, sure. Okay, it's trying to do things. People are testing, playing. I think the thing that's really useful for me is the use cases. The types, language, so summarization is likely the thing I'm looking for. YouTube transcript to article. Okay, that's an interesting one. Like that's one I would definitely put in my list of like, you signed up prompts. Maybe one behind the paywall. I think that's going to be the differentiator. I don't know. I keep talking about releasing this as something that makes money, but I guess you got to have a goal, right? Who knows if I'll get there. Content transformation, sentence structure. So it's doing a really good job of kind of laying out what it's looking for. Your objectives are. Okay, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I might let's just throw it in. Why not? I got a prompt right here. Full transcript. It's maybe because I've engineered the tool, I'm finding a lot of value in it, but it does seem to be working exceptionally well. Ah. Oh, it's going off a text Da Vinci. Oh, interesting. I don't know. Let's try that one. Save. Start. Okay. Well, maybe I'll copy it over and do something with it later. That's not really the goal here. Oh gosh, what did I do? The goal here was just to kind of show that there are a variety of different tasks. So I'm still going to go back to summarization. I'm still going to make sure it's English. And then we kind of have a few different options. If I want to just look at like structured prompts, hallucination evaluator. Oh, okay, fixed. So I'm thinking I may need a more complex workflow than a single prompt for this one. This is why I'm really poking at this specific example. It's the one that's the hardest to kind of get consistent results around, at least the way I would like to see them. I kind of oscillate between what you're seeing here, where it's like, oh, cool, yep, I'll give you, give you the last, like, I don't know, what, 4 or 6 minutes here to kind of conclusion and next steps, which seems plausible, but it's a ton of fine grain. Like, really, do I need a 3-second chapter? Like, that's annoying and weird. To this where it's like, oh, conclusion and next steps is like what, 2 seconds long, 3 seconds long, 3 seconds long, which just seems bizarre, right? It doesn't seem helpful. So it doesn't feel like it's doing much better than if I just did the automated YouTube stuff. Quite honestly, in fact, I'm probably doing more harm trying to set my own specific chapters. The next question would be if kind of trying to adjust the prompt using these kind of foundational techniques doesn't work. I'd like to look at more advanced techniques. Maybe I need to have a kind of chain of prompts, like where it goes off, it gets evaluated by a different instance, different model version. Maybe Claude does the evaluation. And then there's kind of more of a loop there. There might be something built into my tooling, already to do that. I doubt it. I think I'm going to have to build that check-in. It very likely could mean using a different type of prompt. I'm using the really simple one right now, right? Where I just kind of throw it in. I don't set the system context and the user context independently, which might be my downfall. I don't know. We're here in this space. We're exploring. We're trying to understand. All right, so I've got this kind of situation. I've looked at Langsmith. Okay, let's give me score, reasoning. So I found this to be super useful. Super useful. Kind of like explain your reasoning, because I would guess there's a Instagram reel right now going around how ChatGPT or none of the models can tell you how many R's are in strawberry. Well, it's really simple. Just tell them to explain the reasoning, and they get it right every time. If you just ask them flat out, no, they don't get it right. So I guess it just highlights how much variance there is in the prompt. God, I hate the term prompt engineering space. Prompt design space. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. But everyone wants the engineering or architecture in there. Never design. It's just really a lot of what we do, right? We're just designing things and then checking to see if it works. Cool. So I've got some examples, maybe some ideas, but I don't feel like it's foundational enough, right? Like I don't feel like I'm really can potentially dial into the things that are really going to matter here. So I'm going to come over to ChatGPT. Actually, OpenAI. And I'm going to look at their 6 strategies for getting better results. So include details in your query to get more relevant answers. Ask the model to adopt a persona. Okay. So ask for help to write something. You reply with a document that contains at least one joke or playful comment in every paragraph. User, write a note, a thank you note to my steel bolt vendor for getting the delivery on time and in short notice. This has made it possible for us to deliver an important order. Use delimiters to clearly indicate parts. Okay, insert text here, article. Now that's interesting. I don't think the example is the problem. Maybe I need more, maybe I don't. Specify the steps required to complete. So it's like step 1, step 2. Now this seems like there might be some value, right? Like I don't think these are kind of personas and examples, but let's try it. Let's go see. I am going to move that over here. Let's see what happens, right? So what's the example here? Following steps. Step 1, follow the steps to complete this action. Step 1, aggregate the transcript into high-level concepts the timestamps. Step 2, aggregate into, how about just into concepts. Cluster those concepts into a handful of chapters. Step 3, ensure that the last chapter is at least, 30 seconds before the end of the transcript as per the duration, as per the total duration above. Step 4, let's just make sure we're on track. Okay, summaries. Step 1, translate from step 1 into step 2. Okay. Cluster those concepts from step 1 into a handful of chapters. Ensure that the last chapter from step 2 is at least 30 seconds as per the total duration above. Let's try that. Let's see. Do I get a different result? Not really. Avoid listing simple concepts as a okay, no, into concepts. Using the transcript below. Okay, so concepts to a handful of chapters that express the bigger picture being discussed. Okay, so I'm going to go to ChatGPT right now, and I'm going to say, hey, help me edit this. Help me edit this so it better defines YouTube video. Oh, okay, so it's using a task, steps, transcript, example. Okay, so I'm probably gonna want to refine my example. Okay, so let's try this. Let's go over here. Let's plunk that in to demonstrating Scribe AI. So this could just probably be Scribe AI. Challenges, improvements, code walkthrough, Langsmith, integration, future plans, exploring code, codex for code generation, multimodal workflow. That seems kind of cool. Let's see what it does. Conclusions and next steps. Okay, so it didn't give me the 30 seconds. It does seem to be slightly better. I know my examples over here. Let's try that one, right? So that's the cool thing. If I save these as examples, I can just click it and put it back in. I found that to be incredibly useful. So this is just to click the save as example, comes down here, click it, reloads, goes. Makes my life a lot easier. Okay, so the conclusion's gotten better. I mean, I would say that this feels like a step forward, right? Steps, concept aggregation, chapter clustering, filter out any concepts that don't least 60 seconds. No, that just made it do weird things. All right, let's just make sure that it's not doing anything too. Group-related concepts to capture the broader discussion topics. Concludes these. Okay, I want to go try one more thing. Let's go copy this transcript again. Isn't it in my examples? Swear this is it. Yeah, it is in my examples. I wish there's a little bit easier way. I wish I could maybe rename them, but I'll live with it. Okay, so that's interesting. I've got like 12 seconds. Future plans. Okay, let's save it. Seems as though it's gone a slightly better way. Share the file. Choice timings. Example format. I feel like I might need better examples, but let's go back. Let's go back to see what it said. Okay, so I've done this. Specify the steps required. Provide examples. So putting an example in. Specify the desired length of the output. Oh, let's try that. Where do I say a handful? Limit the number of chapter to 10 or less. Okay. Looks a little bit better. I'm gonna commit that one. You know, I'm very vibe based right now. I wish I had an eval pack I could run. I could really put the rigor of engineering around this whole thing. But that's not happening right now. You know, I'm just kind of driving, hoping for the best. We'll get there. I think that's going to be next session for sure. Reference text. Okay. Without a reference text, split complex task into smaller subtasks. Oh, interesting. Okay. That could possibly work. But you know, I think it's doing okay. It's moved a step forward. So I managed to apply a few of the the techniques there. So breaking it down and kind of giving it a task, giving it the steps, and then providing an example. Probably want a couple. Really, that's kind of the whole idea behind multi-shot. stuff. Let's see if I can go find another example here. Example 1 and example 2. Oh, shucks, this didn't come together very well. Well, that's fine. That's part of the process, right? So let's get that stated out. Oh, how long was this one? This was 4610. No, but I don't really care. So let's start. Let's see what this one does. That example seemed to not do very good. I didn't think that that moved it forward, so I'm just going to revert, start, kind of rebaseline. So I didn't commit. That's okay. I'm going to go back and come back in, edit in playground. Examples. Sure, this one, start. What's it going to do? Okay, why is it doing that? I'm confused. Oh, let's go back to ChatGPT. Given this prompt, sometimes I get the right format and others I get this format with a bullet below it. How can I avoid the bullets and just get this format? Like I said, I might still need an evaluator. Plain text with no bullets. Okay. All right, let's try it. You know, I'm not going to claim that this is like super scientific. Oh, that actually looks a lot better. Oh, okay. Yeah, that actually was a big step forward. So, kind of going back to the foundations, looking for things that maybe I've forgotten, overlooked, wasn't aware of, feeding that into ChatGPT, iterative, just like I do in the development, right? Like take it, feed it in, give it a little help, give it a little insight on what we're looking to correct, see if it can help me formulate a better prompt. I'd say that's a lot closer to what I'm looking for a chapter summary. Like that's looking better. I'm pretty happy with that. 38 minutes, that gives it, yeah, that seems real. Let's commit that. Okay, great. So, there's definitely value in coming back here, kind of looking in those foundational prompt techniques. I know there's like chain of thoughts and, multi-shot and other examples. And, by all means, go out and explore the prompt tutorials and see what else you can find out there. ChatGPT also has, OpenAI also has a whole bunch of like prompt examples. I think there's a summarizer in here, meeting notes summarizer, and they're going to give me an example of what it's doing, how to run it. And so I've got the system prompt and the user prompts. Remember, I'm not even playing in that space. There's probably more value to unlock moving in that direction potentially. But for right now, I'm fairly comfortable. I think it's done a pretty good job. I'm pretty impressed that it's gotten a lot more succinct with what it's running through. Let's try another example. Let's not get totally locked into here. Oh, it's 20 some minutes long. Oh man, start. Could be better. Could be that I'm just waffling all over the place. Let's not forget that. Here's where I could really do with some probably really well-rounded baselines. Going through, recording maybe some 5-minute segments, making sure there's like 3 or 4 high-level concepts discussed, pulling that out and seeing what it does. But overall, it's doing the key requirements, sticking to kind of at least giving me a little bit of space there. So I think I need to expand this. I think I probably want to make this a process that's going to get sense checked by something, maybe fed back for refinement. It feels like there needs to be almost kind of this little agentic piece here, or at least conversational piece between LLMs about refining this output, about refining this work. And I think that's where I want to take this in the future. I'm going to put a pin in that for right now, because I do feel like this has moved itself forward a little bit, you know. So that's what I would do. Kind of go back to the basics, look through things, start to understand what's happening, how it's coming together, what's happening there, and feed into those pieces. Look at the examples, look at the playground, see what it can do. So I think I've done that. I've looked at a couple examples here. Things are looking a little bit better. Committed that, everything's good. There is a possibility that using it in a system context, maybe it's a little bit better. But I'm comfortable that that's good for now. Cool. All right. So yeah, next steps, we're going to get a little bit more into the evals, kind of dig a little bit more on the data sets, the testing. I'm going to push some of these prompts public. And ideally, that at least gets us to a kind of usable state with the Langsmith setup, the prompt management, all of that's at a level where people could pick this up, potentially work with it themselves, get a little value from it. My big goal right now is, I think, to continue pushing forward with this. So not this week, we're going to do all that. So then the following week would be getting back into writing code with ChatGPT. Continue to delve into that practice once we've kind of got these foundations laid down. Alrighty, folks. Well, I hope you found it useful and informative, and there's some value here. I sure enjoy making these things. I hope you enjoy watching them. Until next time, have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.